Good morning and welcome to Channel 44. I am Mercy Gashegu Sembatia to bring you this morning's news update live here on Channel 44. Well, I will start with what's happening around us in Uganda today. Otafire orders probe on opposition. FDC National Unity Platform reactors speaker brokers meeting over missing persons. It's in today's New Vision. And then also embrace mechanized agriculture. That's according to President Yoweri Museveni in today's New Vision. He reminds me of Pastor Robert Kayanja and his project of the Karamoja Bucket Initiative, where he is using tractors to till and plow plant produce for the people of Karamoja. He is using mechanized agriculture. Moving on, support human capital system. According to First Lady, Mrs. Janet Museveni has asked stakeholders to support the rollout of human capital systems developed by the Ministry of Education. And then also, M23 is not our problem. That's according to President Paul Kagame of Rwanda in a conversation with the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. President Paul Kagame distanced Kigali from M23 rebels, saying the armed group is a Congolese problem. And in today's business section of the New Vision, Harvest Money, best farmers explain why they won and how they won in today's New Vision. And also NRM coordinators ordered to account for 2021 polls. Umeme confirms Uganda exit. This is happening. Umeme is exiting Uganda. Details are on page 4 of today's New Vision. And also the segment of World Cup, they bring you many matches that are yet to happen at the quarterfinals this weekend. And also in the Daily Monitor, EU sanctions Ugandan trader over Congolese fight. The European Union has imposed travel restrictions on businessman Alain Francois Vivien Gauthier, the spokesperson of the M23 rebels, and other 5 Congolese, and froze their assets, accusing them, among others, of grotesque rights violations and illicit explosion of DRC's natural resources. Details are on page 4 of today's Daily Monitor. And also, Anti-Sexual Harassment Committee established. The Ministry of Gender and Labour has instituted a committee to fight sexual violence and harassment in workplaces. Priest sentenced to 26 years in jail over defilement. Get to know which priest and from where in today's Daily Monitor. National police housing a disgrace, according to Otafide. It's in today's Daily Monitor. And also LDC staff interdicted over abuse of office, and very many job opportunities in today's Daily Monitor. Get yourself a copy. You'll be able to get a job or to get yourself a job in different places. Well, we will now go straight into our international news update. Religious leaders in South Sudan are calling on parties to the conflict in the north of the country to implement a ceasefire amid escalating hostilities. There are growing concerns that the renewed fighting might derail the implementation of the revitalized peace agreement, which was signed in September 2018 to end a 5-year civil war. There are also fears that the fighting could cause a humanitarian catastrophe in the region. The ceasefire monitoring body says the violence began in mid-November when tensions started building up between rival groups. Father Paulino Tipodeng, a chairman of the Interdenominational Panel Initiative for Peace and Reconciliation, said that heavy weaponry was being used by tribal youth in the ongoing hostilities. A new global climate pact, the Sharm el-Sheikh implementation plan, was agreed on at the COP27 summit. It included a historic commitment by richer nations to give money to developing nations to help them recover from damage and economic losses wreaked from ongoing climate change impacts. This comes after a year of devastating climate change-related disasters, from severe floods in Pakistan to ongoing drought in East Africa. There were also disappointments expressed by some leaders, world leaders, that there was no agreement to reduce fossil fuel usage. In Ghana, authorities say more than 8 million unregistered SIM cards have been blocked in the country after their owners failed to meet a final registration deadline. The disconnection of the mobile lines means their owners will no longer be able to make calls or access the internet, neither will they be able to use mobile money services. Ghana's Ministry of Communication and Digitization and the National Communications Authority has said the mandatory SIM card registration was to help fight crimes such as fraud and to ensure digital security. The process started in October last year when the government issued a directive for people to register their mobile lines. In the DRC, a UN investigation has found that at least 131 civilians in the DRC died in a November attack by the M23 rebel group. The UN report said the massacre took place in two villages, Kishishe and Bambo, in the Rutshuru district of the Eastern North Province of Kivu. Investigators say the attack appeared to be a reprisal for a current government offensive on the rebels. M23 denied the massacre, blaming stray bullets for just 8 deaths. But the UN's MONUSCO peacekeeping mission in the country said 102 men, 17 women, and 12 children were arbitrarily executed by the rebel group as part of reprisal against the civilian population. And elsewhere, the Pope was giving a traditional prayer on Rome's famous Spanish Steps when he broke down in tears as he mentioned the suffering of Ukrainians. The prayer was to mark the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, which is a national holiday in Italy. In Europe, the European Union interior ministers have voted to accept Croatia into a 26-nation border-free Schengen zone, but to reject Romania and Bulgaria. The vote was greeted with relief in Zagreb, but anger and dismay in Bucharest and Sofia. Germany's foreign minister said it was a bad day for Europe. The European Commission had backed all three countries as meeting the criteria necessary for joining the zone, which includes 420 million people. And in the Caribbean, Mexico says it is considering granting asylum to Peru's former president Pedro Castillo, who was impeached and then accused of rebellion in a dramatic turn of events on Wednesday. Mr. Castillo, who is aged 53, is now in custody in Lima. His asylum request has been sent to Mexico's president via a lawyer. The two countries are now discussing the issue, according to Mexican Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard. Mr. Castillo was removed from office after he tried to dissolve Congress. Facing an impeachment vote, Mr. Castillo announced he was dissolving the opposition-controlled legislative body. Well, that brings us to the end of this morning's news update. Thank you for watching Channel 44. I remind you of the Christmas Karamoja. We are giving a special Christmas to the people of Karamoja. Join us as we bless these people once again here at the Miracle Center Cathedral this Monday in the Miracle Center Cathedral Church. There is going to be a dinner. This dinner is not only going to be about giving, but it's also going to be about being prayed for. Come and be prayed for. Come and be blessed. Come and be anointed by Pastor Robert Kayanja, and come with a seed ready to bless the people of Karamoja. Come with your family and friends.